Welcome to my lecture online. Now let's get a better feel for the concept of the coupling coefficient. Now we have an equation for that. We know that the coupling coefficient is used to equate the mutual coefficient to the square root of the product of the self-inductance. Now we can also write it as a ratio of the flux that goes from one inductor to the other inductor from the mutual inductance divided by the total flux going through that inductor. Or we can say it in this way: if we're looking at two inductors, inductor 2 and inductor 1, the flux that goes from inductor 2 to inductor 1 divided by the flux that goes through its own inductor on inductor 1, in other words, the self-inductance of inductor 1 plus the mutual inductance between 2 and 1. So it's that ratio that defines the coupling coefficient. But to get a conceptual view of what that really is all about, we have three examples of where we have some sort of coupling, from low coupling to high coupling. Low coupling means that not a lot of magnetic flux from one inductor makes it to the other inductor. For example, when we have two inductors side by side like this, and notice in this case we have the dot on one side here, the dot on the other side there, but that's not as important. What's important is that the magnetic field, which is concentrated inside the inductor here, will then move around, or not really move around, will then exist on both sides going in the other direction and then enter the inductor again. So we have these loops representing the magnetic field, and some of those loops will actually go through the other inductor, and in this case you can see that they're in opposite directions, so that the net magnetic flux here actually is reduced by the mutual inductance between these two inductors. But only a small portion of the magnetic field and the flux of that field will go through this inductor, so we can say that there's a low coupling between the two. There's not a lot of coupling between those two inductors. However, when we put them on the same core, like let's say we have a cardboard or a cord or something like that, and we have the wires wound around the core, and notice that they're in very close proximity. You can see in this case again that the current will go around the coil in the same direction for both, and so they have magnetic fields in the same direction. Again, that's not important in this illustration, but what's important is that since they're in such close proximity, a significant amount of the magnetic field, before it has a chance to coil around, will go through the other coil, so there's a much stronger mutual mutual induction between the two coils here. And the same for the flux of this coil will go through a significant portion of this coil because they're in very close proximity. Therefore, we have a higher coefficient. And then finally, what we do, like in the case of transformers, what we do is we'll actually put some sort of ferromagnetic material in kind of an L shape like this, so that just about all of the magnetic flux that goes through the coil right here will be then moved to this direction right here, and will cause this flux, this magnetic flux, then to go and exist in the other coil as well. Almost all of the flux that is generated by this coil will then also exhibit itself in this coil simply by that ferromagnetic material, because magnetic field is much more likely to follow ferromagnetic material than to spread itself out through the air. And likewise, you see this magnetic field here will also, because of the material that's provided, will then exist in this ferromagnetic material through this coil right here. And notice you'll have a very, very strong coupling, magnetic coupling between the two. And transformers are built that way to maximize this as much as they can. The greater the coefficient, the coupling coefficients, the greater the efficiency of something like a transformer. So you can see low, medium to high coupling because of how we channel the magnetic field from one coil into the other coil. So hopefully that gives you a good insight into what we mean by magnetic coupling and the differences between low coupling, medium coupling, and high coupling, and that is how it's done.